Let me tell you something that took me years to understand, something nobody tells you when you're down. Starting over is not failure. Starting over is one of the bravest things a human being can do. Think about that for a moment. You had a plan. You worked for it. You believed in it. And then something happened. Life happened. You fell. You failed. You lost something you cannot get back. And now you are sitting there, looking at the pieces of something you built that didn't work out the way you planned. And the world expects you to be ashamed, to hide, to pretend it didn't happen, to quietly disappear, and never try again. But I am here to tell you something different. The fact that you fell means you were moving. The fact that you failed means you were trying. The fact that you lost means you had the courage to play. Most people never even get to the point of falling because they never had the courage to start. But you did, and now you have something even more valuable than a first start. You have experience, you have lessons, you have scars that made you wiser. And you have the choice to use all of that and restart again. Not because it will be easy, but because you are not done yet. And deep inside, you already know this. Let me be clear about something. Restarting does not mean forgetting what happened. It does not mean pretending the pain wasn't real. It does not mean going back to the beginning, as if nothing occurred. Restarting means this. You take everything that happened, every failure, every lesson, every scar, every moment that broke you, and you carry it forward. Not as weight, as wisdom. The person who restarts is not the same person who started the first time. They are wiser, more patient, more realistic, more resilient. They know things now that they didn't know before, and that knowledge is the most powerful asset they own. Most people see a restart as going backward. I see it differently. A restart is not going back to zero. A restart is going back to the beginning, with everything you learned the last time. That is not weakness. That is strategy. I need you to understand something about giving up. Giving up is not peaceful. People think it is. They think if they just stop trying, the pain will go away, the pressure will lift, the uncomfortable feeling will disappear. But that is not what happens. When you give up on something that matters to you, the weight doesn't leave. It changes shape. It becomes regret. And regret is heavier than failure. Failure has an end. You fail, you hurt, you learn, you move. But regret has no end. It sits with you in the quiet moments. It shows up in your most honest conversations with yourself. It whispers in the dark. What if you had tried one more time? What if you had gotten back up? What if the breakthrough was just one restart away? I have seen strong people broken by regret, not by failure, by the things they never tried again. Don't let that be you. The pain of restarting is temporary. The pain of never restarting lasts forever. Let me have an honest conversation with you about why things didn't work out. Not to blame you, but to help you understand. So the next start is different. Most things fail for one of three reasons. The first reason, you didn't have a clear enough plan. You had a dream, a vision, a feeling of what you wanted, but not a daily system to get there. Dreams without systems are just wishes. The second reason, you quit too early. Not because you failed, but because progress was invisible for too long and doubt became louder than discipline. Most breakthroughs happen just after the moment most people quit. You may have been 1 day away, 1 week away, 1 decision away, and you stopped. The third reason, you were doing it for the wrong reasons. For approval, for validation, for someone else's definition of success. And when the external motivation ran dry, there was nothing left to keep you moving. Know your reason, the deep reason, before you restart. Here is something I want you to sit with. Beginning again, after you have already failed, requires a different kind of courage. Not the courage of someone who has never been hurt, but the courage of someone who knows exactly what the pain feels like and chooses to risk it again anyway. That is rare. Most people experience one significant failure and quietly shrink. They protect themselves. They play smaller. They choose safety over the possibility of something great. And I understand why. Being hurt once is hard. Being hurt twice in the same place feels unbearable. But here is what I know to be true. The people who restarted after failure always said the same thing afterward, that the restart was worth it, that the second attempt taught them more than the first, that the version of themselves that existed after restarting was someone they were genuinely proud of, Not because it was easy, but because they did it afraid. They did it uncertain. They did it without any guarantee. And they did it anyway. Let me tell you what this restart needs from you. It needs honesty. Real honesty about what went wrong. About what you contributed to the failure. About what needs to change this time. Not blame. Honest reflection. It needs patience. Because restarting is slower than continuing. You will feel behind. You will compare your restart to other people's progress, and it will feel unfair. Ignore that feeling. Your timeline is yours. It needs a different approach. If you do exactly what you did before, you will get exactly what you got before. Something must change. The plan, the system, the habits, the environment. Something must be different this time. And it needs commitment, not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Commitment stays. Commit to the restart. Even on the days when it feels pointless. Even on the days when progress is invisible. Even on the days when giving up feels rational. Stay committed. Let me tell you something about the people you admire. The ones who made it. The ones whose success you look at and wonder how they got there. Most of them restarted, more than once. The business that succeeded was usually the second or third attempt. The relationship that worked was built after learning from one that didn't. The career that flourished grew from the ashes of one that collapsed. But nobody tells that story, because the world only celebrates the arrival, not the journey, not the restarts, not the dark nights of starting over when nobody was watching, not the embarrassment of trying again after publicly failing, not the quiet courage of one more attempt when everything said it was over. That part of the story stays hidden. But I am telling you now, the restart is part of the story. It is not a detour from success. It is the path to it. When you restart, do not rebuild on the same foundation that cracked before. Take time, assess what was weak, identify what needs to be stronger, and build differently. First, build on clarity. Know exactly what you want and exactly why you want it. Write it down in detail, so specific that when doubt comes, you can read it and remember why this matters. Second, build on small wins. Do not try to recover everything at once. Start small, win small. Build momentum slowly, because momentum is what carries you through the hard days. Third, build on accountability. Tell one person what you are doing. Someone who will check on you. Someone who will ask the hard questions. Isolation is where restarts go to die. Fourth, build on self-compassion. You are going to have bad days. Days where you feel like you are failing again. On those days, do not attack yourself. Talk to yourself like someone worth believing in. I am rebuilding. This takes time. I am still here. That is enough. Before you restart, I want you to do something. I want you to look back at what happened. Not with shame, with curiosity. Because inside every failure, there is a gift. A lesson so specific to you that it could only have been learned by going through what you went through. A strength that only exists in you now because of what broke you. A clarity about what you really want. That only came from experiencing what you didn't want. A resilience that cannot be taught in any classroom. Only earned through the experience of falling and choosing to get back up. That gift is yours. Nobody can take it. Nobody else has it. It was built specifically for you, through everything you went through. And now it is time to use it. Take it with you into the restart. Because this time, you are not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. And experience is worth more than anything. I want to end with this. You are allowed to start over, as many times as you need to. There is no rule that says you only get one attempt. There is no judge keeping score of your restarts. There is only you. And the decision in front of you, do you stay down or do you get back up? I have watched people restart at 20, at 40, at 60, and build something beautiful from the ruins of what came before. It is never too late to begin again. It is never too embarrassing to try once more. It is never too risky to believe again in yourself, in your dream, in the possibility that this time, with everything you have learned, it could actually work. So here is what I am asking you to do. Not tomorrow, right now. Make the decision that you are not finished. That what happened does not define what happens next. That the version of you sitting here right now, with all your scars and lessons and hard-earned wisdom, is more equipped for success than you have ever been before. Get up, dust yourself off, take a breath, and restart. Again, Not because it is guaranteed, but because you are worth another attempt. Because your dream is worth another attempt. Because the person you are still capable of becoming is worth every uncomfortable restart, every difficult beginning, every moment of starting over until you finally arrive. Restart again. Now go.